in the office.
Your show will go live in 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Blog Talk Radio.
What's good, Combat Conversation fam? Back on another Sunday to give you all the business in the world of combat sports, martial arts, boxing, everything alike. Listen. Oh, let me stop. Listen. Last night, for those of you who are watching in Facebook land, watching in YouTube land, watching in Instagram land, listen. Last night, UFC 227. I think the word upset would be rather an understatement as to the expectation, or at least, so let me adjust this camera right here for my Facebook viewers. I think it's rather an understatement in regard to what what my expectation of things to take place last night at UFC 227. We had an upset of the utmost magnitude last night. Quite a few fights that took place on the card. There was a really awesome card, man. Even some of the prelim fights were pretty dope. But looking at and focusing on the main card last night, we had the rematch between. Actually, they both were rematches. Both of the championship fights. We had Henry Cejudo going up against Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson, and Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson lost that fight, lost his belt, his flyweight belt, to Henry Cejudo by split decision. We're going to talk about that. I'll get back to that in a second. And we also had the rematch between TJ Dillashaw and Cody Garbrandt. TJ winning this fight in an let me not say unexpected, because it wasn't the way that I expected him to win. I picked TJ to win the fight last night, but I called it being in the favor of a unanimous decision for TJ. Obviously, the fight did not end like that, but oh man, TJ knocked him out, dropped him about 4 minutes into that first round. So we'll talk about that as well. But let's get back to to one of the initial fight we spoke of on that main card, the championship fight, the flyweight championship fight. That was Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson versus Henry Cejudo. Give me 1 second, fam. I need to adjust my Instagram feed. Let me fix this, because my Instagram feed is acting a total ass right now. So let me fix my connection. Give me just a few seconds, and we are back. For those of you who are interrupted by the BS Instagram feed that we had going on my Wi-Fi be tripping sometime. But we're back. But nevertheless, we will discuss, we are going to discuss right now, the event last night. That was the upset win for Henry Cejudo, taking the flyweight belt away from Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson. Of course, okay, so let's go with the obvious here. Of course, Mighty Mouse was heavily favored going into this fight. And even me discussing with some of my peers, understanding that going into this fight, we're looking back and thinking about how the first fight ended with Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson winning that fight in KO fashion the first time around. Understanding that neither one of these fighters would be the same fighter this time around. And I assumed that it would be a better fight this time around, just not knowing really how much of a better fight it would be with both of these fighters, improving, evolving, getting better at their craft, training for this rematch, knowing what's to come. But I did not expect, and it was an awesome fight. It was a close fight. And I have to be honest in saying I gave the fight to Mighty Mouse. I thought Mighty Mouse won because me just being the thinker that I am, I don't think that he beat. I'm not disputing the decision. I could clearly see the decision going in Cejudo's favor, so I'm not going to argue it. I thought that the judges gave 3 rounds to Cejudo, 2 rounds to Mighty Mouse, split decision in favor of Cejudo. I just don't feel as though he did enough to beat a champion of Mighty Mouse's magnitude convincingly. Of course, going into the fight, you would like to believe, which was his game plan, and he showed it, Henry Cejudo wanting to focus getting Mighty Mouse on the ground, with him being as an accomplished wrestler as he is, as Cejudo is. He's an Olympic gold medal level wrestler. Henry Cejudo is. But just the fact that he was able to do enough to beat Mighty Mouse is a positive staple on Cejudo's resume, considering how their first fight ended with the first round KO. But Mighty Mouse, we know he'll be back. There was a lot of talk about the winner of this fight moving up to fight the winner, the winner of last night's bantamweight fight, which is now TJ. I don't think TJ is going to come down, but just looking at Mighty Mouse's resume and his reign within that flyweight division, I see no reason at all. I see no reason to believe that Mighty Mouse won't get a rematch. But just to Cejudo's credit, to Henry Cejudo's credit, he just beat the guy that a lot of people are putting on their list as possibly and or arguably the greatest MMA fighter of all time. And he grinded it out with him for 25 minutes. He did. Just knowing what the feeling is for him to be able to defeat who people are regarding as arguably the best fighter in the sport. It's dope. And that's just a credit to Henry Cejudo. With Cejudo beating him, he ended the second longest UFC title reign in history at 5 years. Mighty Mouse Johnson was running, hands down, the flyweight division for the past 5 years, including the victory he previously had over Cejudo. Man, wow. That's amazing. That's amazing. 5 years and 10 months. So he almost made the 6-year mark. 13 fight win streak, unbeaten streak at 14. It just surprised me to see, and again, knowing that this would be a better fight than the last go around, knowing that both of these guys improved. I also have to say that I was impressed with Cejudo's performance. I was. Man, I just did not see that coming, man. I really thought that, not that it would be more of the same with Mighty Mouse winning. I figured that he and I don't think he did. I figured that Mighty Mouse will be able to at least grind him out on the feet, striking at least, to come out with the victory. And once, which was more so, you saw that in the first round. You saw that in the first round with Mighty Mouse mixing up the strikes, I guess trying to confuse Cejudo, kind of gauge him out. And then he wasn't really comfortable with I guess, obviously standing and trying to strike with Mighty Mouse. So he started making his takedown attempts more aggressive that second round. He was successful and was able to get a lot of work in the top mount on Mighty Mouse. Attempted more the same that third round. And Mighty Mouse takedown defense was a lot more successful in that third round. Even to the point where he was kind of like, for those of you who saw the fight, he was somersaulting out of his takedown attempts, almost to the point where he was almost able to take Cejudo's back. But with Cejudo being as awesome a wrestler as he is, he was able to fight his way out of it. And it also looked to me that, and I'm sure this was a determining factor in the outcome, that Henry Cejudo seemed to have more energy towards the last 2 rounds of that fight. Not that Mighty Mouse had ran out of gas. And that with both of them, I'm sure, with the intense cardio training for both of them, it just seemed that, to me, Cejudo had more wind for those last 2 rounds than Mighty Mouse did. Oh, I see you got a comment in the YouTube feed. Okay, I'm speaking a little too fast for the brother. Let me slow down. But yes, I don't think that it was a lack of cardio on Mighty Mouse's behalf. I feel like that Cejudo just had more wind, which was helping him to be able to establish the dominance, or I guess to the judges what looked like as his dominance on the ground, going up against Mighty Mouse. And going into the fight, I'm sure the game plans were obvious. Mighty Mouse wanting to stand and strike, even with that being how he won the first fight. Cejudo wanting to go to the ground with him being an accomplished wrestler and implementing those game plans throughout the fight. Cejudo was a lot more successful than people thought he would be, with him being able to take Mighty Mouse down. And that's with Mighty Mouse having the awesome ground defense. It was a dope fight, though, man. It was a dope fight. But to my surprise, Cejudo came out on top. He did, man. It was dope. So shout out to Henry Cejudo for the awesome performance. And, you hate to see... give me a second here. You hate to see an awesome performance by a fighter like Cejudo kind of get overshadowed by you trying to cope or understand or process the loss of the awesomeness of the fighter that he just defeated. And rightfully so, because Mighty Mouse's resume, it dictates that. But I don't want that to take away from the awesomeness that was Henry Cejudo's performance, because you got to respect the man that's able to go the distance and grind it out, and I guess apparently beat Mighty Mouse Johnson. You got to, man. I'm just trying to figure out what that rematch or that trilogy now, what will be, is going to look like, and how soon they're going to be able to bring that back around. And it would really suck for Cejudo to move up and challenge TJ, which he called TJ out at the end of the fight. It would suck for him to go up and challenge TJ and not give Mighty Mouse his due diligence as far as rematches are concerned. I hope that's not the case. But nevertheless, we have a new UFC flyweight champ. We do. Awesome fight, man. Tell me what you guys thought. Call in if you want. 516-590-0997. Call in and talk to me. Tell me what you guys thought about last night's fight. Keep the comments coming in Facebook land. Keep the comments coming in Instagram land. Call in and talk, or post your comment. And in YouTube land as well. I saw those. Tell me what you guys thought about last night's fight, man. And we're going to keep talking about the UFC card. UFC 227. Upset City, man. Henry Cejudo victorious by split decision over Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson and is now the UFC flyweight champion. And I just found it funny how after that fight he called out TJ, man, in regards to him moving up. But that is the other fight we want to talk about, man. We also had, I'm not even going to call this an upset, because I picked TJ to win this fight, but we had the rematch between TJ Dillashaw and Cody Garbrandt last night. That was the co-main event, and with the hatred that these two guys have for each other, this was expected, very much so, to be a fireworks fight. Both of these guys love to stand and bang. Both of these guys, you can see even going back to the camps that they originated with. TJ leaving his camp, Uriah Faber's camp, and going and doing his own thing. And that stemming over to the Ultimate Fighter tournament, which led up to their first fight where TJ won by a second round KO. Well, we had a bit more of the same last night, just a little earlier in the first round, with TJ scoring the KO win over Cody Garbrandt, man. Yeah, Cody couldn't get out of the first round this time, and I did. I picked TJ to win this fight. I did not pick him to win by KO. I picked him to win by unanimous decision because of how tough Cody Garbrandt is. It surprised me that he lost how he did. Even with him being able to regroup and come, a lot of times with these guys, you don't expect to see the same outcome the second time around with them being able to know your opponent's strengths, your opponent's weaknesses, your opponent's habits when they're in the ring, and being able to use those things to your advantage. I didn't. I did not. I was convinced that this fight would go a bit of a distance this time around because of those factors and because of how tough both these fighters are. I did not see that KO win coming for this time around for TJ. I did not. However, we had more of the same last night for TJ Dillashaw, man. Got it done in the opening frame of the fight last night. About 4 minutes into the first round, he got the best of Cody, man. Was able to keep his belt, and Cody came out guns blazing, man. He did. He started the fight off aggressive, came out, dropped him with a right hand. He kind of went in for the kill after that, unsuccessfully. Cody did. Thought he had TJ in trouble after dropping him quickly. Went in for the kill, was unsuccessful. TJ was able to get back up. He bounced back right away, man, and dropped him right back. So after he dropped TJ dropped him right back, and he allowed Cody to recover briefly. But after Cody's I saw that comment in YouTube land too, man. I saw that, bro. I'm gonna get to that in a second. We will be talking about the Conor McGregor Khabib fight that's been set. Just give me a few. But yeah, he let Cody recover, but this time it even though Cody got out of that trouble, not too long after that, man, he cracked Cody with a looping right, like an overhand kind of right, more so looping than overhand, and he dropped Cody twice. The second time that Cody got back up, that was it. It was a wrap. There was nothing. Cody, he had him up against the cage, and I thought he was going to stop it earlier than he did because of how much punishment Cody had appeared to be taking. But Herb Dean let him keep going. And once he got Cody up against the cage, and he was giving Cody that work, man. Herb Dean was forced to stop it, man. He had to wave the fight off. That was done. He was done. Oh man. I hope now. All right. So looking at let's take a look at the bantamweight division, because this is a highly unlikely that you're going to see Cody get a rematch after losing to him 2 times in a row to TJ. You got Dominic, who was in the booth for a while. He appeared to have the retirement vibe on him with him being a commentator, but apparently he still has an itch to scratch. He never officially retired. So he's ranked at number 2, which could possibly go up. The UFC adjusts their ranking system midweek. So there's a possibility that could go up. My man, see, we've got some comments here. My man Justice, Mighty didn't look himself. I think the talk of TJ super fight and moving him up had him distracted. You know what? I can't deny that possibility, Justice. Mighty Mouse never came off to me. Now, this is just my opinion, as the type of fighter that would allow that to distract him. He just seems to be, to me, again, my opinion, the type of fighter that will focus on the challenge at hand. But looking at his performance, I have to be honest in saying I can't rule that out. I can't. And I'm saying that because knowing of how, as fight fans, having knowledge of how long he's just mopped the flyweight division single-handedly, I guess at some point, maybe 5 or 6 years now, I guess at some point you kind of feel like you don't really have the competition that you would need to, stay sharp in that division, because he's been ruling the damn flyweight division with an infinity glove for the past 5 to 6 years. So that I can't rule it out as a possibility. I've never known, in my opinion, Mighty Mouse to be that type of guy, to have those type of things distract him, but I'm not going to rule it out. Oh man, I couldn't see your name. The comment disappeared. But no, I am not out of LA. I am headquarters. I'm located here in Baltimore, Maryland, on the East Coast. If you need some info, you need to rap to me, bro. Don't hesitate to call up or hit my inbox or email me. All the info should be on the feed. My man Lee, Team Cejudo, I knew he could do it the whole time. Never had a doubt. Really, Lee? I ain't even gonna throw you under the bus, bro. I'm not even gonna throw you under the bus. Oh man, I have to be honest and say I didn't. I picked Mighty Mouse, of course, the heavy favorite, and I have to be, in my opinion, man. I did not think, in spite of the awesome performance that Cejudo put up, and knowing that there really aren't too many fighters that want any type of smoke with Mighty Mouse, I just don't feel like he did enough to win that fight by split decision. I'm not. Again, I was stating earlier, I'm not going to argue with the decision, because of his. Joe, what's good, baby? I'm not going to argue with his decision because of the outcome, because of Cejudo's performance, which was pretty awesome considering he's fighting one of the greatest MMA fighters, arguably, of all time. I just feel as though with Mighty Mouse's resume and his performance and how they fought last time, the outcome thereof, and just all these things factored in, combined, in my opinion, I do not feel like he did enough to win that fight by split decision. I just feel as though that his win, if it would have been split decision and even given him a majority decision or unanimous decision, should have been more convincing to me. Not to take away from anything that was Cejudo's performance. I don't know. But I can see with how well he was able to handle Mighty Mouse on the ground, how the judges could have and did rule in his favor. So I'm not going to say I disagree with the decision. I just felt like I thought Mighty Mouse won. I thought his hand was going to get raised with the split decision. I did. Just didn't pan out that way, man. Oh man, but bruh. Yeah, so Cody Garbrandt, looking at the bantamweight division, he's gonna have to go back to the drawing board. Not sure where they're gonna drop him down to in the bantamweight rankings. Y'all know I can't function on Sunday mornings without my coffee. But I'm not sure where they're going to drop it down at in the bantamweight rankings. I have to wait. It's either Wednesday or Thursday when the UFC updates their ranking system and the placement thereof. Of course, TJ being the champ, bantamweight. I hope that him and that Henry Cejudo doesn't happen until after Mighty Mouse gets his trilogy rematch. I'm just looking at the rankings, man, and you got Dominic, who's probably gonna go to number one. And there's not really much left to be said in the bantamweight division. Cody's gonna drop from the number one spot. Rafael Naso, Marlon Moraes is promising, and also is Jimmy Rivera. But I don't know if they're gonna be. I'm speaking in regards to possible title contention to go up against TJ. Maybe who? Pedro Munoz? I don't know. We'll have to find out. But I don't know. But right now, TJ is sitting at the top, man, and he's cracked Cody twice, man. So Cody's going to drop back down to the drawing board, and if he does decide to give Dominic Cruz, let me see something here. And I'm looking at Dominic's resume. Dominic, excuse me. Of course, with him being a former champion. Dominic, his loss, obviously his last fight, which was December of 2016, was him losing the belt to Cody. Cody then took the belt from, TJ then took the belt from Cody, but TJ has lost to Dominic back in January of same year, January of 2016. And to be honest, man, Dominic's beaten everybody. He's one of the only few people who's beaten Mighty Mouse Johnson. That's when Mighty Mouse was at bantamweight. He's beaten TJ. He's beaten Uriah. He's beaten Joseph Benavidez twice. Beaten Ian McCall. The only people he's lost to has been Cody. And, back in the day at WEC, he lost to Uriah. And then, he got his revenge back at versus Uriah at UFC 132 back in 2011, July of 2011. So, all things considered, looking at Dominic's age and where he is right now, he's 33 years old. I'm pretty sure he's still in good shape. Dominic is a monster. Let's be honest with ourselves here. So, there's no one else I see in the bantamweight division that would make a better fight to go up against TJ than Dominic, especially since Dominic's beaten him once already. And I'm saying that because I don't want the whole division, cross-division matchup to go down right now. I think Mighty Mouse definitely deserves his rematch. So, let's wait and see. We're going to have to wait and see how that plays out. But you guys tell me what you think, man. Keep the comments coming on the Facebook feed. Keep the comments coming on the Instagram feed. Call up, man. Holler at me. 516-590-0997. Now, this was a fight that I was salty about because those of you who know me know that I'm a big Cub Swanson fan. But my man took an L last night. Cub, one of the toughest fighters I've ever seen, put the gloves on. Yeah, this one stung a little bit, man, because I'm a big Cub Swanson fan. But my man Cub took a L last night, man. This don't hurt, bro. Uh, he lost to an awesome fighter, though. I got to give it up. I got to be honest. As a Cub Swanson fan, he did. And this kid, you can see this kid, how he's been developing into a better fighter as his career has progressed. Renato Moicano. He gave my man Cub an L last night, man, by a rear naked choke. Dropped Cub with a nasty jab and was on him. Cub got up, tried to recover, was fighting back. Got Cub back down again. Got behind Cub, locked the rear naked on him. That was the end. This is a nasty Brazilian cat too, man. This dude, Renato, and I think he was ranked number 10 because I'm sure Cub is going to drop now. And that's in the the featherweight. He was ranked number 10. My man Cub was 5, so I'm sure that's gonna, they're not gonna do the whole switcheroo thing, but you're gonna have the whole up down within that list. In between Chad Mendez and Josh Emmett, and who lost recently. So in front of him you got Brian Ortega, Jose Aldo, who just won, Frankie Edgar, and Jeremy Stevens. So the featherweight division is looking pretty dope right now, man, because Max is no telling when Max. I know we were talking last week about Max Holloway and his him being out under concussion protocol. At this point, it's not even a win; it's a if he comes back, because they were saying that his concussion injury was appeared until further notice. He got to get checked out and everything. It appeared to be pretty serious. So now they're looking at it like if he comes back. And that's my man, Max, man. I hope he's able to come back, man. But what's more important than that is him getting well. And I know Dana White can be a bit of an ass at times, but I was happy to see that at least he gave the appearance of being more concerned with Max's health at that time, and just wanting him to not more concerned with him defending the belt and pressuring him to fight and, what's wrong with you and all that. He seemed to be more concerned with Max getting well. Now, I'm not sure if he wants to try to push, if that's because I know he's a big guy in favor of Ortega, Dana is, so I'm not sure if that was the reason why, but at least, if it's not, at least he gave the appearance of being concerned with Max's health, which was a good thing. You got to protect the fighters. Even sometimes you have to protect the fighters from themselves. But yeah, that featherweight division in the UFC looks pretty mouth-watering as a fight fan. But my man, he's going to drop in the division. Cub Swanson, he took a L last night, man. Which is also going to look good for Renato's resume. He's going to move up, man, from that number 10 ranking. With the top 1, 2, 3, 4 dudes in the division, I know he's not going to move up to Cub's 5 spot yet. So I don't really see him within any immediate title contention. But keep his name in your ear for in the near future for it. I promise you. The kid is 13-1-1, so his resume looks good, especially with the win against someone like my man Cub. And for those of you who saw that fight, you saw at the end, he bowed down and he gave Cub mad respect after the W, after he got the W over Cub, which I thought was pretty cool. He showed Cub mad respect. And he was saying how Cub, with him deciding to turn pro and become an MMA fighter, he was saying that Cub was one of the fighters that inspired him. So for him to, he was a little nervous going into the fight versus Cub, but for him to be able to fight against Cub and beat Cub, it was like a bittersweet kind of, you know what I mean? He was saying that. But he gave Cub like mad props, mad respect, which I thought was pretty cool, man. Showing a lot of humility as a fighter for this kid, Renato. But, man, it hurt me to see Cub take that L, bro. Oh, man. It's part of the business, man. Even though I'm a big fan, you're gonna see it happen. Yeah, that jab he hit Cub with was mean, though. That joke was like super square, right in the middle on the face, man. Dropped him. Started hitting him with the hammer fist. But you know, Cub, being as tough as he is, Cub is as tough as they come, man. I mean, just keep it 100. Cub is one of the toughest out there. So he was able to get back up, started fighting back, hit Renato with a couple of decent shots, man, but it just wasn't enough. Unfortunately for Cub, it was not enough for him to turn the tide of the fight. Murciano stayed on him, got him back down, and this time he did not attempt to try to finish him off with the hammer fist. He got on top of him, but once Cub saw that he was going in, once he saw Cub going into defense mode and started to turn, he took Cub's back, rear naked choke, into the fight and first round. This kid is dope. I like him, man. I'm gonna start paying a lot more attention to this kid. With this win, he goes to 13-1-1. He's won 2 straight and 5 of his last 6. Kid is looking pretty good. His only L, this kid Renato, his only L is to the top guy in the division right now, Ortega. So I'm sure that it will be a nice fix for him to be able to get that W back if they do the whole interim thing. I really don't see him being Ortega's. Hold on. Let's be real here. Even though it pains me to say this, we have to keep it a buck and say that Max Holloway is not coming back anytime soon. Which means, you know, Dana loves that, which I'm not, depending on the circumstances, I'm leaning more to not being a fan of the whole interim thing. But it is what it is. So depending on, I guess, the significance of Max's injury, I don't see him just going ahead and giving him or putting the belt as vacant and letting them fight for the real belt. I guess that depends on how serious Max's injuries are. But B. Ortega is going to be Brian Ortega versus whoever for that belt. You got Jose Aldo, who just won. He just looked good. I hate to say it, but you're going to have to remove Cub Swanson from that list. You got Jeremy Stevens, but hold up. You know, I try to look up everything. That's just me. That's what I do. I try to fact check. 90% of the time, I get it right. I ain't going to say all the time. But, okay, so yes, I was right. I wanted to make sure before I said it. So you got Jose Aldo. And I would like to see Jose get a shot to get that featherweight belt back versus Brian Ortega. Do I think he can beat Brian Ortega? I think that's the 50-50. I'm not really sure. Would I like to see him beat Brian Ortega? Absolutely, because I'm a big Jose Aldo fan. Can he beat Brian Ortega? That's a crapshoot. I don't know. But you got the only other person you have left there is Frankie Edgar, who I believe is lost to both. And you got Jeremy Stevens, who was the guy that Jose Aldo just beat. I mean, you got Chad Mendez, and then you know, Cub, who just lost last night to Renato. So we'll see how this pans out. But I'm almost willing to place money that you will see at least the interim, depending on the significance and or length of time concerning Max Holloway's injury. You will see an interim or a vacant belt fight for that featherweight title featuring Brian Ortega versus one of these guys, which preferably at right now it looks like it might be Jose Aldo. Wouldn't that be something, man? Wouldn't that be something else to see Jose get his belt back like that? Never know, man. That would be dope. That would be dope. But we'll see. We will see. But yeah, man, tell me what you guys think, man. Call us up. Keep the comments coming. Keep the comments coming on the Facebook feed, on the YouTube feed, on the Instagram feed, or call up 516-590-0997. Talk to me. We also Uh, had some. Oh, you know what? Give me a second. We're going to talk about the boxing results from last night. But before we do that, I want to give a quick shout out to one of my sponsors as usual. And this is the Lewis Financial Group with Russell G. Lewis. He is an authorized agent with Progressive Insurance, and this is an agency with the honesty and integrity that comes with a handshake. They represent a plethora of insurance carriers and financial services companies, including Progressive, as well as other carriers such as Foremost, Hagerty, American Collectors, Aetna, Assurant, Bankers Group, Property and Casualty, Transamerica, Nationwide, Funding Solutions, Alliance, Access Insurance, and much, much more. Licensed in multiple states, and you can get the best of these major carriers and the expertise in representing them. Caller, I see you. Give me 1 second. I will bring you right in. But first, you need to go see what more that the Lewis Financial Group can do for you at www.lewisfinancialgroup.net or call them up and get a quote, 443-622-0561, to speak to an agent Monday through Friday between 8:30 a.m. and 6 p.m., and they're also available on Saturdays from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Lewis Financial Group. Check them out. It's a pretty dope service. Now, caller, who are you and where you from? Talk to me.
Hey, what's going on, man? This is Justice.
Justice, what's up, brother? How you be, man?
I'm doing good, man. How are you?
I'm good, bro. I'm good. Glad to hear from you, man. What you think? What were your thoughts on the UFC 227 events last night, man? Holla at me.
Man, great fights, man. The DJ fight was kind of... I wasn't disappointed because it was an upset, but DJ, like I said, he didn't look the same, man. It was something about him. I know he said he hurt his foot and hurt his knee in the fight, but he didn't look like DJ. He didn't push that pace like I'm used to seeing. Grinding people out, trying to wear them down. He didn't look the same. But Cejudo, he put on a good fight, man. He let Cejudo sit back in that little karate stance at the beginning, like, it was kind of strange at first. I'm like, DJ, go get him.
Right.
What he used to doing, but I guess it's the fight. I went. He had some strategy, but it happens. It's a game.
It's part of
but
it.
that and TJ Dillashaw, I expected that. I was looking for that. Matter of fact, Cody. I think Cody's a good fighter, man. I like him, man. I think Team Alpha Male needs to get back Justin Bocoats, their striking coach. I think they're missing that.
Yeah.
After Dwayne Bang Ludwig left. Yeah, them guys they're good fighters. They train hard, but they got to get somebody there that's going to get them organized. And Cody, man, he's a beast. I mean, don't get me wrong. He lost to TJ twice because TJ is a hell of a striker, but I mean, they got to get some strategy. Those winging punches where he's squaring up. I mean, he got caught 3 times the same exact way. There's no way you should get caught 3 times like that.
And now, you noticed something. Cormier after the fight, post fight, he said something, and I picked up right up on it when he said it. Now, when they were replaying when he got dropped the first time, and I think it happened the second time as well. How you were just talking about how they might have to go back and reevaluate their striking coach or the lack thereof. When Cody was throwing those shots the time when he got dropped, he was kind of winding up. He was kind of, like telegraphing the punch, winding up. TJ was kind of linear, like in a straight line. He was like inside of Cody's shot, which means that, a straight line from point A to B is going to get you right there, bam. Which means he was able to connect before Cody even came around with his shot. Now, do you think that that's a significant fact as far as the striking coach or the lack thereof, maybe?
Of course. I mean, plus we talking about a guy trained by Dwayne Bang Ludwig versus a guy who has.
I forgot about that. You're right.
Whomever. I mean, we talking about Dwayne. I mean, we know TJ's Dwayne's #1 student right now.
Right.
So, sorry about the train. I'm down here in the country visiting.
No, it's all good, man. It's all good.
but we talking about his number one student, man. I mean, you really can't. You really can't do anything about that. You're gonna have to have some type of strategy, some type of team management to where somebody's looking at these videos, somebody's watching a fighter. You can't just go into a fight saying I sparred with 10 guys on the team and I'm knocking them down, and then go into the fight thinking you're going to be the guy who's trained by a world class striker.
Right.
It's not going to happen.
They don't work that way. It don't work.
Yeah. It don't work like that, man. I get beat up by guys on the day. You train, you get beat up by guys on a daily, on a local level. So just imagine when you're on that world class level where you got, a guy like Dwayne or Justin Buchholz or, them guys out in Greg Jackson, somewhere like that. Those guys are prepared for every little detail there is, man.
Right.
And you just can't miss those,
As soon as they see a mistake, they're gonna have you prepared to capitalize on it. They're gonna capitalize on it.
Oh yeah, of course, every single time. So again, that was just a mistake that he made. Again, I think when he get a striking coach back or a good striking coach, he comes back strong.
Man,
but he got to do that in the meantime.
Now, looking at the bantamweight division, just like let's just keep it a buck, man. There's no way that Cody's going to get a rematch anytime soon. It's not even a trilogy at this point because, as you said, he lost to him twice. Now, I'm looking at the bantamweight division. I would much rather, and I was saying this earlier, I would much rather see Mighty Mouse get a rematch instead of Cejudo and TJ doing the cross division thing. I mean, I think that Mighty Mouse's resume dictates the fact that he deserves a rematch. So, looking at the bantamweight division, I don't really see nobody else being able to come up and crack with TJ other than what? Dominic Cruz again?
Well, you got let's not forget about Marlon Moraes from he was World Series of Fighting champion.
You know what? That is true.
Only loss he's had to was he lost to, I can't remember who he lost to. That was his first fight in the UFC. He beat John Dodson by split decision, who we know gave Mighty Mouse a tough time. And he also he's the only knockout loss that TJ Dillashaw had.
Yep.
From the Ultimate Fighter show. So Marlon Moraes, I mean, at bantamweight, we know, I mean, that's a good fight between him and TJ because Marlon Moraes is a good striker. He's good on the ground.
Yep.
Wrestling, not so much, but that's a good fight.
Right.
DJ deserves an immediate rematch.
Right.
But he has to stop the crazy talk, man. Did you see the comment he made about, him going over to 1FC and maybe taking out that flyweight division and things like that? Like, man, you're the UFC champion. You got Dana White. You're the best in the world. And you talking about going over to, somewhere else to fight some guys who they tried to bring in before and you dominated. Like, why would you?
No, he said that last night. He made that last night?
Yeah, he said that last week. This was last week during the presses. He was like, maybe instead of moving up, maybe, me going to 1FC or fighting some of these other champions around the world in different organizations would be a thought. Wow. And I'm like, man, you just messed up.
Right.
You just messed up. Like, why did you say that? Like, I mean, now he's a great fighter.
Right.
But marketing-wise, unless you like a serious hardcore fight fan like me and you, a few others, nobody know who DJ is. Right. We know John Jones. We know Cormier now. We starting to figure out who TJ Dillashaw is.
Right.
From a everyday standpoint. But like, come on, man, you can't do stuff like that. And then Dana White, he is who he is. Like him or not. He's still the boss.
Right. I know he was hot when he heard that.
You can't do stuff like that.
I know he probably was on fire. Man.
Oh, yeah, of course. Of course. Like, and it's going to do more for your legacy. You cleared out the division. I'm not big on rematches, but I didn't like the rematch last night with Henry Cejudo from the beginning. So I felt like that was a mistake, and it was just like...
You feel like it was a mistake on Mighty Mouse's behalf?
Yeah, just take the fight, man. Just move up. I mean, it's money. It's more money, and it's going to cement. Win, lose, or draw, your legacy is cemented there.
Oh, absolutely,
Like,
absolutely.
I just, he took that. The only time I saw him in trouble was John Dodson in those split decisions. But
Oh, yep.
it was like, no, don't take that fight again unnecessarily. It's like Pacquiao and Manuel Marquez. They fight four times, and Manuel Marquez get lucky. Oh, did you see? I'm sorry to jump subjects.
No,
I know you're gonna talk about Kovalov getting knocked out last night.
I was just about to talk about that. He lost to Alvarez last night. Dropped him in the 7th round. Now Kovalev probably need to go ahead and chill, man.
Yeah, I think those losses to Ward, I think they took a toll on him. He might need to take a break.
Yep.
And come back, man.
I figured, going into the fight, but he was, looking at this Kovalev, man, and like I said, a lot of guys, their resumes speak for themselves. So you can't sit here and look at Kovalev's resume and be like, whatever. But I didn't expect him to lose like that, man. You know what I mean? What he dropped? Let me see. The 7th. He got dropped in the 7th, man. And
7th round.
Yep. Crazy, man. And he had Alvarez leaking. He was cut like it was unintentional, like a headbutt, man. But he was leaking like pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah, he was getting the best of him pretty good. I mean, other than Andre Ward, I mean, if there was no Andre Ward, Kovalov would be the man at that light heavyweight position.
Yep.
But, we got Andre Ward, but man, yeah, that was just as shocking as DJ. I'm going back and forth between tablet and computers, like, I can't keep up.
That was me last night. I was
just
at a party
lost.
last night watching it. My homeboy had the UFC 227 on the screen, and I'm on my phone watching the fight. I'm trying to watch both of them at the same time. That was me last night. That's me.
So yeah, last night was crazy, man. Yeah.
Yep.
But I'm not gonna hold you up, man. I'm gonna listen to the show. But yeah, it was some crazy fights,
good, bro. I appreciate
good
the call.
fights
Appreciate
all
the love,
together.
man. Hey, so
man, always every Sunday if I can, I'm always listening. Unless I'm at work, even still, I'm listening.
My man.
It might get in trouble if I get caught. But yeah, I'm always listening, man. I'm always somewhere, man.
I always see you see you pop up on the feed, man. I appreciate the love, bro. Straight up.
Oh yeah, man. Anytime, man.
Absolutely,
always
bro. All right, man. Keep calling, man. I'll holler at you.
All right, man.
All right, bro.
All right.
Man, that's what's up, man. But yeah, we were actually just getting ready to talk about that because Kovalev, that was a surprising win for Alvarez last night. We were just saying, man, last night was full of upsets. Taking the light heavyweight title from Kovalev. And Alvarez, I ain't gonna lie, he looked good. But that 7th round, man, he hit Kovalev with that right hand, man, and Kovalev was able to get back up, man. But and this was after Alvarez was leaking. The unintentional, they kind of butted heads, and I guess Alvarez got the worst end of it. He was leaking a little bit. Oh, man. That was a pretty dope performance by Alvarez too, man. And also, last night, Berto. Berto won last night, Andre Berto. It wasn't a super awesome performance, man, but he beat Devon Alexander last night, man, in a split decision. It was kind of a debatable split decision, but he did win last night, so I don't really see how Berto is going to be able to move forward. Excuse me. Just thinking, just think about the fight before this. He fought, Porter? Do I have it here? Yep, Porter. Porter beat the hell out of him, man. But I guess with this win, I guess he'll be able to put himself back into the division, man, at 147. But again, Andre Berto's is getting up there in age, so you don't really see. I don't know. I mean, his record is good. He's 32-5. 24 of them wins come by KO. So he's another fighter whose resume speaks for itself, but he's also a fighter who has possibly been, I guess if you want to say past his time or his prime. I was thinking to fight back against Mayweather as well. You can see the decline of Berto. But he won last night, man, so, I give him his props. And now, the fight that everyone has been waiting for has finally been inked, and we will see this go down pending that nothing crazy happens, no injuries, please Khabib stay healthy, no Conor putting on no type of theatrics, nothing crazy outside of the ring where you're getting in trouble. We finally have Conor McGregor versus Khabib Nurmagomedov. It's finally been inked, and this is a beef that's been boiling up for a minute now. So we'll talk about that. But before we get into that, I want to give a quick shout out to another one of my sponsors, Be More Customs, where you can get quality custom shirts and hoodies, also customized soaps, lotions, body wash, body scrubs, body butters, perfume, and cologne and sprays, and more, with all of your favorite fragrances. Go and like them on their Facebook page. As soon as the show is over, go over to Be More Customs Facebook page and hit that like button. When you hit the like button and you tell them Combat Conversation sent you, all Combat Conversation listeners that like and follow Be More Customs will receive a 20% discount on their first order and a minimum 10% discount on their future orders. Again, go check out the Facebook page for Be More Customs. It's good stuff. Tell them Combat Conversation sent you. 20% off your first order, 10% off additional future orders. I'm a body oils type of guy, so I get body oils from this company a lot. I recommend their body oils. They smell great. I also recommend the peppermint soap if you're into like skin cleansing and facial cleansing, keeping your face tight. Peppermint soap is awesome. Get it. But yeah, we finally have Conor McGregor versus Khabib Nurmagomedov. This fight is going to be insane. So when they were doing the promo this past Friday, after, with the weigh-ins and the press conferences and things of that nature, they had made the announcement that Conor McGregor will be finally coming back to the octagon to get the belt that he feels as though is still his, but he had to give up. He's going to go up against Khabib, the undefeated Khabib, for the lightweight championship. It will be held as the main event on October 6th in Vegas at UFC 229. It's going to be dope. Now, this is McGregor's first time back fighting in the octagon since November of 2016. You remember that fight he had with Eddie Alvarez? I didn't know what to say, man. Like, just thinking about Conor and just the antics and the whole, I don't know. Like, this is crazy, man. Like, hold on, let me fix this. Let me fix this real quick. Oh, man. Hold on. Okay. This is insane. And just thinking back to all the things that have taken place since his fight with Eddie Alvarez back in November. That was November of 2016. That including his fight with Diaz. He lost to Nate Diaz. He beat Nate Diaz again. His UFC record is only one loss, and that's the loss to Diaz. And that was his move up to welterweight. He beat He won the featherweight, then he won the lightweight, 2-division champ. Okay, the thing with Conor is this. Like, thinking about... give me 1 second. I see somebody popping in here. All right, what we got? Okay, some more watch. There we go. My man Dwight, what's good, baby? I see you, man. We were just talking about, UFC 227. We were also talking about the results for the boxing events last night. Kovalev got beat by Alvarez, got dropped in the 7th round. Andre Berto won last night, too. I know me and you talked a bit last night about UFC 227. So now we are discussing the announced fight that has apparently been inked for McGregor versus Khabib. October 6th in UFC 229. But yes, this is Conor's first fight back since November of 2016. That was his fight with Eddie Alvarez. Winning the lightweight strap. 2-division strap. He's been stripped of both of them, both belts, the lightweight and the featherweight. I don't know. There's been so many people that I've talked to that feel as though that this fight is not going to happen due to injury, but whatever. I don't know. I just hope that don't. Yeah, I see it. Yeah, last night when I was texting you on the book, I had my phone up, man. I was watching UFC 227 on the big screen and watching the boxing fight on my phone. That's what I do. I always, when I'm at home here in the office, I had the big screen on one, have my phone on one, have my laptop on one. So there's times where I'm watching 3 fights at once. That's just me. Okay, I see it, my man Dwight. I see Khabib taking him down and going to work unless he gets fat again and misses weight. So you know what? Okay, this is my theory, and just go on this journey with me. Pending that nothing goes, I was just saying, nothing goes crazy, and the fight actually takes place, or Conor actually fights this time, or Khabib makes, he handles his weight business, or he doesn't succumb to injury or whatever. All factors and monkey wrenches aside, let's say we go, we have the fight. And he's definitely fired up for Conor because this beef has been brewing for a minute now. I'm going more with Khabib winning this fight. But he's going to have to deal with the timing of a man, Conor, his timing is impeccable. This is just me being honest. I'm not a big Conor McGregor fan, but I respect him. His timing and his precision is something like I've rarely seen as in an MMA fighter. But he likes to throw those shots. He likes to stand and bang. He likes to throw power shots. Power shots cause you to commit to the punch. Committing to the punch leaves you open for certain things, whether it's a counter shot, whether it's a takedown, whatever. So Khabib is going to have to be ready to take advantage of those brief, whatever millisecond openings to get Conor down. Yeah, he does. He's have you foolish. When I say Aldo would wreck him, he got hands. Listen, about that fight. If you looked at that fight on paper, and I had this conversation again on the book yesterday with somebody, Aldo was supposed to destroy him on paper. Conor McGregor. That didn't happen. And then looking back at the Eddie Alvarez fight, Eddie Alvarez had the same ability, looking at these two fighters on paper, to destroy Conor. And again, it didn't happen. As much as I hate Conor's antics outside the ring, and I know that he's a bit of an ass at times, you got to respect his ability as a fighter. The dude is cold, man, in that octagon. And again, his timing is something that you rarely see. His level of timing, and although I'm leaning more to Khabib winning this fight, maybe by unanimous decision, and that's a stretch. He's gonna have to deal with that when it comes to. He's gonna have to deal with that timing. Aldo looked beat walking to the cage. In my opinion, that's when I knew I effed my pickup. You think so? You know what? And you know what? That's a matter of perspective. I guess depending. I will say, if I remember correctly, he did not. I'm not sure if I would go as far as to say beat. I will agree that he did not look like the same Jose. I will say that much. My man Justice is back. Conor knocks out Khabib in the third round. Wow. Damn, that's how you feel. I'm not gonna say that's not. I'm not gonna sit here and say that's not possible to happen, because I think Aldo and Alvarez are proof of that. On paper, both of them should have beat Conor, and Conor dropped both of them. So I'm not gonna sit here, Justice, and act like that can't happen. I think Conor's earned the right for us to give him that benefit of the doubt. Do I think it's gonna happen? I think we're going to see more of a result of kind of what we saw last night with Cejudo v. DJ, with Khabib trying to get him down and grind him out, to tire him out. The majority of Conor's wins, when he did win, he was able to finish early, because Conor having gas in his tank in the latter rounds is not something we're used to seeing. Correct me if I'm wrong. But just looking at Conor's resume and Conor's history, and I have to be honest, maybe it's because we didn't have to see that. Looking at Conor's resume here, Eddie Alvarez win, second round. Nate Diaz, he went the distance with Nate, won by majority decision. He lost to Nate, second round, rear naked choke. He beat Jose Aldo by KO, first round. Beat Mendez by KO, second round. Beat Silva by KO, second round. Beat Poirier by KO, first round. Beat Brandao by KO, first round. So Conor's not used to going in the championship rounds. So if Khabib can drag him out like that, I think Conor's going to have a problem. He said, yes, I figured something. This is my man Dwight. I figured something was wrong when Aldo walked out. Fam is bold out here. I ain't mad. My man Justice, the Chad Mendez fight. Which Mendez fight? You talking about Mendez and McGregor? If you're talking about Mendez and McGregor, he TKO'd Mendez in the second round. I'm assuming that's the fight you're talking about, Justice. I just looking at his resume, I'm not used to seeing it. Conor, yes, Conor and Chad. Conor fought Chad in July of 2015. He beat him for the featherweight title in KO in the second round. And I'm sitting here literally right now looking at Conor's resume, and he's only gone the distance once. And I'm when I say the distance, I'm talking about championship rounds, like 4 or 5 rounds. He's only gone the distance once, and that was with his win versus Diaz, with the majority decision win. And that can go either way. It could be because he didn't have to, because of his performance, or it could have been because he just never really had to, because of just, not really having to put his cardio or his win on display. And that's just me looking at McGregor's resume right now. But he's not used to that. But just me thinking about him going up against Khabib, I have to be honest in saying I'm leaning more to Khabib grinding this fight out. Let me also say that the two fighters that I thought, in regards to championship bouts versus Conor, that I thought would have beat Conor proved me wrong both times. So let me just put that out there. And that being obviously Jose Aldo and Mendez. I'm sorry, excuse me, Eddie Alvarez. Excuse me. Chad Mendez could have went either way. I kind of figured he would beat Chad. I don't know. But I thought Eddie was going to beat him. I thought Jose was going to beat him. I was wrong both times. But just thinking of how this fight is going to pan out, man. Looking at the McGregor versus Khabib. Both of these fighters, their toughness, you're not questioning either. I just feel as though that if Khabib has the timing to take one of those openings, if he gets Conor on the ground, let's keep it a buck. If Khabib gets Conor on the ground, fight's gonna probably be over. If he's dumb enough to choose to stand and bang with Conor, Conor's probably going, and it's gonna be over in Conor's favor. I just think that Khabib has a better chance of getting Conor on the ground with the takedown than Conor has keeping the fight on the feet versus Khabib. I just think that advantage between the two scenarios there leans a little bit more into Khabib's favor. Again, that's just my opinion. And again, this beef has been brewing for a while. Even when Conor did have that belt. When he had the lightweight belt and Khabib was trying to fight him for that belt, they accused Conor of running, not wanting to fight Khabib, Conor going to do other stuff, fighting Floyd Mayweather and all that, blah, blah, blah. That's great, wonderful. Now what are they going to say? Now he's finally getting to a point. And it's not like, Khabib has always had, like you said, weight issues or injury issues and stuff like that. But, they accuse a lot of fighters that do that. They'll say, oh, well, you wait till this guy is, he's old, he's past his prime, he's taking a lot of punishment, he's taking these L's and these W's, I don't think that's the case this time. You can't accuse Conor of trying to wait Khabib out. The kid Khabib is in his prime right now. So I don't think that's the case here. This is just Conor coming back, and with him being the champ, the former champ, getting stripped of those belts, I think he deserves to go straight to the title shot. So and this is the fight everybody wants to see, the Khabib versus Conor. It is. This is going to be a draw. This fight is going to draw the crowd, which makes excellent business sense for Dana, because this fight is going to put, as he says, asses in seats. This is going to be a ticket seller, because this is what people want to see. But yeah, man, this is going to be a dope draw right here, a dope fight rather. So we'll be discussing that. We'll keep any news that comes up about this fight. Of course, we'll try to keep the Combat Conversation fan base abreast as far as this fight is concerned. Just everybody stay tuned, man. Appreciate the love from everybody, man. Y'all always show love on the Instagram feed. Y'all always show love on the YouTube fan. Y'all show quite a bit of love today, man. This is the most YouTube feedback I got in a while. But that's a good thing. But Facebook family always shows love. Thanks, fam, for calling in, man. Make sure y'all tune in next Sunday, where we will be talking about there's not a whole lot going on this coming weekend in the world of combat sports. You got a few things here. There's a few minor boxing matches. But I'm sure there will be news, and we will be taking a look at the following week's fights. So make sure y'all tune in next Sunday morning, 10 a.m. every Sunday, Combat Conversation. Until next week, talk to your family. Holla.